To formally close and wrap up the day's events, I'm going to ask Kim Ellis, the AAD Director, to come up and give us a few words to summarise. Thanks, Kim.
Thanks, Nicole. Now, Nicole said I had 45 minutes to wrap up. Oh, sorry, that was 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, so firstly, I really need to acknowledge the incredible quality of speakers, the intellect, the passion, the communication skills that have been brought to today. It's very humbling for me to sit here and listen to this science and technology and operations and the collaborators we have in the audience and realise, what a responsibility I have to continue to deliver this Australian Antarctic program. So my thanks to everyone involved. I have to say, it's really encouraging to come to a highly intellectual presentation like this, to watch a range of complex science presentations delivered and still be able to get a poop emoji in one of the presentations. So good job. I thought what I'd do is try and give a bit of a summary of the key messages that, from my perspective, that come out of this. The first one is the complexity and connectedness of the Antarctic ecosystems. And the direct impacts these have in Antarctica, but on a much broader global community. And it was very interesting to hear from Tas van Oomen about that connectedness and how it affects all of us. There was a consistent discussion about we don't know enough. We need to understand more. Almost every presentation, and really to end the day with Rob Masson talking about the sea ice, we just don't know answers to these questions yet. And what do we need to do more? We just need more information to answer these big questions. There's a consistent theme of the value of collaboration. No one is able to deliver this science and answer these questions on their own. And whether it's a local collaboration, I look very much at Hobart and the incredible concentration of skill and knowledge we have there, whether it's a national collaboration bringing in universities and other research institutions, or much more importantly, a global collaboration. And again, listening to the discussion, Ewan's conversation about that idea of bringing people together, the work that Jonathan Kuhl's doing with Geosciences Australia, it's so fundamental. Over and over again, the value of technology comes out. From Phil's presentation about what we are doing, but everybody is asking for more technology to extend their reach, to improve the information that we gather, the quality of that information, and then the ability actually to interpret that data and have appropriate interrogation. Of course, underpinning all of that comes out of all of this is the role and value of the people that we engage in our program. The right people with the right skills in the right place. And, one of my passions is the right level of diversity. My vision is that as these seminars grow, there will be much greater diversity up here on the stage. Diversity in gender, diversity in background, diversity in thought. It is the only way we're going to improve the quality of the work we do. And again, you sort of saw that. I saw that diversity discussed, particularly in the panel groups, the ideas that were coming forward. The final issue that really runs true is this need to act now. We've been talking about this for years. None of the information that we're talking about should be a surprise to any of you, but we don't have time to continue to think about how we're going to deliver solutions. We have to act now. The pressure is increasing, the risks are increasing, climate change and impacts are hitting us daily, and we still know very, very few reasons about why all this is happening. We don't really understand the full connectedness, and the range in the outcomes is so broad that when you go and present this as information to policymakers, that they're always going to choose the smallest outcome. They're always going to say that if you don't know, then we can't support this. It's our science, the science we're doing, and its application through policy is the only solution that we can rely on. And that's both locally, but it's also taking it through to the Antarctic Treaty System and other international forum. What we must do now is plan and prioritise our Antarctic science. We must ensure we've got the skills and technology and infrastructure to answer those big questions over the next years, and we are leading that with the development of the decadal plan. This is going to be our guide going forward. This is not the Australian Antarctic Division's decadal plan, this is Australia's decadal Antarctic science plan. We need to ensure that our science is an integrated systems research and that it's based on sustained observations. So again, the message that came out over and over again is that 1 year of research is not enough. We need to understand the status and trends, both in the cryosphere and in our iconic backyard. And I said to Rob earlier, you know, if there was a prize for the most frequently used word in today, it's krill. You know, everybody talks about krill. Well done, Rob. But it highlights how important these systems are and how important it is we have a longitudinal study to understand where things are going. We've got to continue to focus on the idea that policy is guiding our science. And, you know, I think that's one of the big tasks that Nicole and I have, is to make sure that we continue to do this sort of seminar and that we continue to reach out to Canberra so that we have that policy guidance. And finally, we need to make sure that our science covers much more of the Australian Antarctic territory. You know, we are still focusing on these stations and what we can reach around them. And I think Charlton very eloquently showed us the capabilities are coming and the reach that we need, and that is still only a tiny part of the Australian Antarctic territory. The next steps for us to take away from this seminar, science is a solution, but it's only the solution if we've got the support, commitment, engagement of our policymakers. And that means, in a democracy, that means the voters. I hate to be cynical about this, but the passion, our passion, transferred to politicians will only happen if we have been able to influence the broader community and that they are putting pressure on politicians. So that's what you need to take away from this, is we have got to work together to influence the community. This symposium has brought together some of the best minds in our scientific community. It's here in Canberra because this is where the policymakers are. It's where the decisions are made, it's where the policymaker lives, and it's where the money is. I mean, the money we need to do this research and to build the capabilities and sustain our Antarctic operations comes from here in Canberra. This seminar is just one small step in a much longer journey, and you'll see an increased and ongoing engagement from the Australian Antarctic Program more broadly. My one piece of advice to everybody is don't keep preaching to the church. We're all converts, but there is a very large slice of the community that aren't converts yet, and these engaging, intelligent, creative presentations need to go out to a much bigger audience. We're on the cusp of a great new wave. The capabilities, the people we're getting, the facilities we've got, we need to ride that wave and make it really work for us and for Antarctica.